got a Miami Heat mailbag. That is what this edition of the Miami Heat Report is all about. I am Nic Rohloff. Wanted to answer some questions from the real ones a month away from the training camp portion of the season getting started for the Miami Heat. But hey, if you didn't get your question featured on today's mailbag, that's perfectly fine. I just want to answer some in the YouTube comments and on our community page. But you can follow me over at Twitter, at Nic_Rohloff. I'm talking about the Heat every single day, and if you want to ask me a question over there, whether it be my DMs or replying to one of my tweets, that's fine. I've never shied away from answering questions from the real ones. So, hey, another way to stay in touch with me and the Miami Heat over at Nic_Rohloff on Twitter or X. We'll start with my guy, Fedquire Fitness. How's it going, my man? I haven't seen you in a while, except for watch parties start up once again. He's saying, with this current roster, what's your prediction on our record at the end of this season? Good question. Even if the Heat don't make a move, they don't. Probably not going to happen either way, but say they stay completely pat with their roster, I'm actually predicting a 48-34 record for Miami. I know a lot of people are predicting 45-37, if my math is correct. I think it is there. The over-under in terms of win total is 44.5 for Miami. I think that's incredibly disrespectful. I think they are going to win over that very easily. They've also never gone under 44.5 wins. That's the lie. Once in the last 5 years when the season has been completed and played a full 82. So I think Miami is going to win more than 44.5 games for sure. I go 48-34 as my record prediction. 064 Razor. Do you think it's safe to say at this point that load management does not work? I've seen it do more harm than help, making them more injury prone. So this isn't a Miami Heat specific question. It's more of like a general question. But the Heat do partake in some load management, especially with Jimmy Butler. Now, to answer this in the form of the Miami Heat, I think if you're healthy, you should play. And I actually feel like that's the same case for everyone. I understand not wanting to play some veteran guys that are older, like a Jimmy, who's 35 when the season begins, on a back-to-back in the middle of November. I understand that. Those games are fine by me to let him sit out. But if you are not playing a back-to-back, there is no reason why you should not be playing if you are completely healthy. I think load management is kind of crap in that way. I understand on the back-to-backs, but you do got to keep your older veterans healthy. And Jimmy Butler, who's going to be 35, would you rather have him on the second night of a back-to-back in November, or would you rather have him fully healthy for the playoffs? I know there's arguments on both sides, but I'm probably okay with the slight load management on back-to-backs and stuff like that. But if it's a normal, healthy day off in between games, yeah, you should be playing every time. Let me know, do you think load management works in the NBA? General question, Razor asked me. I want to turn it right back to the real ones down in the comment section. Type Y if you believe it does work. Type N if you think it's stupid. Kevin coming in with a question. What do you think the issue is with the Heat's offense? Even when healthy, we weren't great, and that's with us having 4 guys who are capable of giving you 20 points per night. I just don't understand how we're this bad. What do you think? All right. Actually, good question. I think it's going to be different this year. And to me, I think once you traded for Terry Rozier, a lot of people believe that this offense would just be fixed due to his capability of giving you 20 on a given night. But what people fail to realize is that, sure, you have 4 potential 20-point-per-game scorers on paper and on the roster and in the starting lineup, but they have to work well together and they have to blend. The biggest issue I've had with Jimmy and Bam as a duo is that they have struggled to complement each other offensively. You really can't run the two of them that often in two-man actions due to, one, Jimmy Butler not being able to hit a 3 and Bam not being able to do that either. Now, with Bam Adebayo's evolution to the three-point game, Jimmy Butler potentially being more motivated, more aggressive, more looking for his jumper and stuff like that, I think there's a better chance of it working for Miami. And then another training camp and a full month and a half of Terry Rozier being acclimated with the rest of these guys rather than just being thrown into the fire in the middle of the season, I think there's going to be more time to build chemistry with this offense. And now that you have the talented Rozier, Herro, Jimmy, and Bam continuing to grow together, improve their games, be more efficient, but understand what each other's weaknesses, what they want to do on the basketball court on the offensive end, I only think that's going to help Miami. Am I going to say that the Heat are going to have this top 10 offense in the NBA all of a sudden? No, I won't go that far, but I do believe it will be better than last year and then years prior, and that will only help the Heat because they're always going to have a good defense with Spo, Bam, and Jimmy, but if they could get a top half offense, well, now we can really start cooking with some gas. All right, make sure you are subscribed to the channel because we are going to have you covered on all Miami Heat news and rumors, no matter how big or how small the news is. We'll have you covered, but we'll also answering questions, breaking down rumors on a daily basis. So hit that sub button and lock us in. Robertson 355, which I believe this is actually Maya's, so don't know why you changed your name, Maya's, but nice to see you. Heat, what's up, Nic Rohloff? The only reason why I know it's Maya's is because no one else calls me that other than Maya's. But either way, who should we try to trade for in the next offseason or in the summer? My prediction is Donovan Mitchell or signing Steph Curry. I believe that would be Steph. I don't think you're really asking a question about Steph Curry right now. Maybe I'm wrong. But we're going to treat this as Steph Curry and Donovan Mitchell. Unfortunately, both of those guys aren't going to happen. Steph Curry just signed a one-year extension with the Warriors, so he's going to be in Golden State through the 26-27 season. I also don't think Golden State would ever trade Steph Curry, even if Curry demanded a trade. Why would they trade him? He's the most valuable asset in the NBA behind LeBron James. And when it comes to Donovan Mitchell, after signing an extension long-term in Cleveland, he's probably staying there at least multiple seasons. I'd be stunned if he requested a trade, because if he wanted to request a trade, he probably would have just done it this offseason. But after he signed that extension, he's probably going to be locked into Cleveland, at least for this year and the next year after that. So those two probably going to be off the table. But I'll give a name. Bad year for Timberwolves. Could Anthony Edwards become available? Who knows? I only can hope. Cashletic. Kind of rock with that name, by the way, Cashletic. I like that. I might start calling myself Cashletic. With Herro going full buzz cut and somehow surviving another offseason as it seems, do you believe we could see a significant jump in his performance on the court, driven from the motivation of proving everybody wrong? I do. Now, the buzz cut doesn't have anything to do with it, even though he does look like someone who can give you 25 a night with the buzz cut. It's all about staying on the court with Tyler. Herro has been someone that we know can be a established scorer, give you 20 a night, and also shoot efficient from beyond the arc, giving you 39, 40% in that range. But he just needs to be healthy, man. He has not played 65 games in a couple seasons. Can Herro give us 70-plus this season? That would be very ideal. It would help out Miami and continue that consistent offense and consistent scoring that they've been looking for. I don't know what his ceiling is, but man, I think he should be motivated to prove people wrong, and I hope he does prove people wrong. I would never be happier than if we look back in March and say, holy crap, Herro made an all-star team. He averaged 24.5 this season while shooting 50% from the field and 40% from three. Like, will that happen? Probably not, but if we did, I would be ecstatic. Make sure you are representing the Miami Heat with this hat. $8 off. Two-tone adjustable Heat logo on the front, little MH on the side. Love this hat. $8 off. You can get yours today. Chatsports.com/Heat hat. All right, Larry Burney. Nice little profile picture there, Larry. If you don't start Kel'el Ware, it's going to ruin him. He needs to build his IQ fast. It's actually funny you say that it would ruin him if he doesn't start, because I don't think anyone has ever been told that they're going to ruin their development if they start too soon. But I actually disagree with you here, Larry. And I know a lot of people are on the Kel'el Ware should start train. I am not on that train, at least to begin the season. Could the Kel'el Ware start in April if he's one of the better rookies in the NBA? Sure. But for his first couple months, he needs to get acclimated to real NBA experience. And he needs to also get adjusted to the NBA strength training program. Like right now, I think he's just too frail to start amongst other NBA centers. Like, I always bring this up, but I think it would be a disaster if he tried to go out there and defend like a Steven Adams or Jonas Valanciunas type center, because they would just bully him inside. But after 2 or 3 months where he gets acclimated to the speed, the processing needed, where he needs to be spaced and positioned on the floor, that's when Kel'el Ware can really start to make his biggest impact. I don't think he should start in the beginning portions of the 2024 season, but being a starter after the 2025 calendar turns, or being a starter to start the 25-26 season next October, that I can get behind, as long as him and Bam show the capabilities of playing next to each other. You let me know, though, should the Heat start the rookie from Indiana, the 15th overall pick, Kel'el Ware, night 1 against the Orlando Magic? Type S if you think he should be a starter, or type B if you think he should be on the bench. Fourth quarter, 5. What is that profile pic? It's a boxer. Is that you? It doesn't look like a Ryan. Is that Ryan Garcia? Ooh. Ooh. All right. Can Herro be an all-star, and has Herro reached his ceiling? It's funny you asked that because I just said a couple minutes ago that I don't know what Herro's ceiling is at this point anymore. I will say I don't think he's reached it because, like I mentioned, he's a 6-man of the year guy. He's someone who's averaged 20 points per game 3 straight seasons at sometimes inefficiently. And I think there are rooms for improvement because if he becomes more efficient, and instead of shooting 43, 44% from the field, improves that to 47, 48%, becomes a better finisher at the rim and not the worst finishing guard in the NBA, which he's shooting 9% under league average from a season ago in the restricted area. So if he shoots league average at the restricted area, he still shoots 40% from 3. I think those numbers can improve to, like I said, a 47, 48% mark from the field, 40% from 3. And if he's shooting more efficiently, that means he's averaging 24, 23 points a game because he's making a couple more baskets than he's missing. Like, I think the ceiling for Herro is a 24-point-per-game scorer. Do I think he's ever going to be classified as like a all-NBA guy, a top 5 shooting guard in the NBA? Probably not. But can he be someone to give you 23-plus efficiently? I think that could happen if he's able to improve himself in terms of finishing inside the paint in the restricted area amongst the trees. I don't think there's that much room for improvement, at least with his defensive prowess. All right, that's going to do it for this episode of the Heat Report. Make sure you follow me over on Twitter. Like I said, if you didn't get your questions on today's show, you can ask me over on Twitter at Nic_Rohloff.